You're probably thinking something like, Marta has dreams of becoming a pilot. How are you able to figure this out when the text doesn't state it directly? Open the Notebook tool and write a couple of sentences to explain the process you used to determine that idea.
Introduction. Warm up. Consider the following passage. From the time she was old, she watched videos of the takeoffs of tiny one-seater planes and huge jets. She memorized flight paths.
You were able to figure out that Marta dreams of being a pilot by looking at several details that repeat her interest in flying and aircraft. You can use this approach, noticing how details work together to make a bigger idea, to find the central ideas in informational text. In this lesson, you'll be analyzing how Nelson Mandela develops the central ideas in his inaugural speech from 1994. Before we begin, let's learn a little bit more about Mandela's life and the context in which he gave his speech. You were able to figure out that Marta dreams of being a pilot by looking at several details that repeat her interest in flying and aircraft. You can use this approach, noticing how details work together to make a bigger idea, to find the central ideas in informational text. In this lesson, you'll be analyzing how Nelson Mandela develops the central ideas in his inaugural speech from 1994. Before we begin, let's learn a little bit more about Mandela's life and the context in which he gave his speech. You were able to figure out that Marta dreams of being a pilot by looking at several details that repeat her interest in flying and aircraft. You can use this approach, noticing how details work together to make a bigger idea, to find the central ideas in informational text. In this lesson, you'll be analyzing how Nelson Mandela develops the central ideas in his inaugural speech from 1994. Before we begin, let's learn a little bit more about Mandela's life and the context in which he gave his speech. You were able to figure out that Marta dreams of being a pilot by looking at several details that repeat her interest in flying and aircraft. You can use this approach, noticing how details work together to make a bigger idea, to find the central ideas in informational text. In this lesson, you'll be analyzing how Nelson Mandela develops the central ideas in his inaugural speech from 1994. Before we begin, let's learn a little bit more about Mandela's life and the context in which he gave his speech. You were able to figure out that Marta dreams of being a pilot by looking at several details that repeat her interest in flying and aircraft. You can use this approach, noticing how details work together to make a bigger idea, to find the central ideas in informational text. In this lesson, you'll be analyzing how Nelson Mandela develops the central ideas in his inaugural speech from 1994. Before we begin, let's learn a little bit more about Mandela's life and the context in which he gave his speech.
Wait, no!
You were able to figure out that Marta dreams of being a pilot by looking at several details that repeat her interest in flying and aircraft. You can use this approach, noticing how details work together to make a bigger idea, to find the central ideas in informational text. In this lesson, you'll be analyzing how Nelson Mandela develops the central ideas in his inaugural speech from 1994. Before we begin, let's learn a little bit more about Mandela's life and the context in which he gave his speech.
Tragic.
Oh, you died. You died in slap battles.
Oh. No! Oh. Huh! 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 Oh. No. Whew. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes. Oh my god. Oh. That's what that does. No. Oh. You. Huh. Oh no. Oh, you're getting it now. You're getting it now. I'm untouchable! Got it. Oh no. I'm gonna get that yellow hair bacon. Eh. Eh. Ah! Get out of here. Ha ha. You'll see who's ha-haing. Revenge for the monkey. Oh dang it, it was the other one. It's that one right there. I knew it. It's that one! It is that— oh, did he just change bodies? Oh yeah, let's go. Ooh. Whoa. Who did that? Whoa. Oh, that's probably who did it. Yeah, let's go, Sonny boy! Sonny boy! Sonny boy! No! Ah! I'm gonna get you! No! That's how it goes. Oh, hell no. Whoops. Didn't want to hit a monkey. Ugh.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
good. Oh, okay. What the? Oh, wait. When? Oh. Get out of here, bro! Get out of here! Nah! Get out of here with that crap. No! No! Ah! Monkey. I'm my monkey. Ole, 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 mole. Ole, 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 mole. Only ole moles.
You were able to figure out that Marta dreams of being a pilot by looking at several details that repeat her interest in flying and aircraft.
Thirsty. Oh my gosh, Max. Oh no.
You can use this approach, noticing how details work together to make a bigger idea, to find the central ideas in informational text. In this lesson, you'll be analyzing how Nelson Mandela develops the central ideas in his inaugural speech from 1994. Nelson Mandela. Click each thumbnail image to learn more about Nelson Mandela's life. And accomplishments.
Born in 1918 in the village of Mvizo in South Africa. Mandela spent most of his life working for civil rights in his home country. He is known as an activist, a political leader, a president, and a philanthropist. Much of Mandela's work focused
Nelson
on...
Mandela.
What the heck?
Click each thumbnail image to learn more about Nelson Mandela's life and accomplishments.
Why is it doing this
Apartheid.
to me?
Much of Mandela.
Oh. Now, segregate. Wait, where was I? Much of the Mandela works focus on ending apartheid. as a government-approved system that's segregated black and white. Economic severe inequality because of apartheid. The United States placed economic restrictions on the country. Imprisonment, 1963. Mandela was imprisoned for his political work organizing against apartheid. He spent 27 years in prison. Hmm. Uh, Mandela went on to the Nobel Prize for Peace in 1993 for his contributions to ending apartheid. In 1994, he was elected first president of South Africa. At the time of his election, the country was still experiencing long-term effects of apartheid. Although the system was formally ended years earlier, the speech you'll read is his inaugural address. Mandela delivered his speech to an international audience as well as South Africa.
Good readers approach a text with questions in mind to help them gain information. Think about what you just learned about Nelson Mandela. Which question would be most helpful to guide your reading of his inaugural speech?
What? Which question would be most helpful to guide your reading? I don't know what that means, but what did Mandela want to communicate? How did Mandela... I don't know what that means, but I got it right.
Identifying central ideas. Central idea basics. Soon you'll read Mandela's speech to determine its central ideas and analyze how they're developed. But first, let's look at some identifying features of central ideas. They express a main point. They drive the author's message. They are often not stated directly. There can be more than one in a text.
Oh, let me write this down. Identify key features of central ideas. Express a main point. Derive the author's message. Often not stated directly. Oops. Okay, I guess I've done that.
Strategies for identifying central ideas. Readers often need to look across details to figure out a text's main message. These strategies can help you find central ideas.
Annoying. Are certain words, ideas, or are certain words, ideas, or descriptive images repeated? If a author says something more than once, it's a good indicator it's important to his or her message. Are there titles, headings, or subheadings that provide information? These can be guideposts for a central idea's development. You might find these helpful in news articles or longer pieces of information text. The first or last sentence of a paragraph sometimes provides an overview of a bigger point the author wants to make. Some types of informational texts do not include topic sentences, but you would be able to find them in a social studies or science textbook, for example. If an author includes a call to action. That can be a good indicator of the text's central message. If an author includes a call to action, it can be a good indicator of the text's central message. Notice when you authors don't include information and details randomly. That's not true. That's actually not true. I do that all the time. Anyways, every detail serves a purpose. Why did the author include this? Can you think about how that detail might be contributing to the main idea? Wow, these guys are dumb if they think everything has a point. Look for...
Many kinds of details can work together to help the reader determine a central idea. Scan the first half of Mandela's speech. Then, identify which strategies would be most useful for determining its central ideas in this context.
Okay. I bet it has this. Wait, what? This. Maybe not this. To help determine central idea. Maybe this? Not this. Oh my god, I'm correct again! Yay!
Reading for central ideas.
Too boring. Think about the repetition you just read and how those details worked together to create an idea. Wait.
Think about the repetition you read and how those details work together to create one idea. What central idea is Mandela developing in the first part of his speech?
It's so boring, I don't understand.
Think about the repetition you read and how those details work together to create one idea. What central idea is Mandela developing in the first part of his speech? Think about the repetition you read and how those details work together to create one idea. What central idea is
Yes. I'm so smart.
Look at your annotations and the notes you made in your notebook. Think about how the repeated imagery works together to develop a central idea. Select the best answer from each drop-down menu.
Mandela's speech. I didn't really read it. The world, so having science in South Africa. Probably not that. Probably not that. So, maybe it's either that one or that one. It develops this idea through the sense of repeated imagery that describes how the he develops his idea through his use of repeated imagery that describes how they are considered outlaws by people. They're united by I don't even have to get this right. I don't even care. They have strong sense of national pride. They are united by their attachment to their natural landscape. Oh no. I don't want to read this. And oh yeah, I don't have to get this one right. Yay! Nice. Let me move on. Painful isolation. Grateful new beginning. A new. Oh my god, this is boring.
Look at your annotations and the notes you made.
Fine, I guess.
Reading for central ideas. Your turn. Now use the highlighting tool to mark calls to action in pink. Click on the question mark icon to read the questions. Then, open the notebook tool and answer the questions. Click on the underlined vocabulary words to read the definitions. To my compatriots, I have no hesitation in saying that each one of us is as intimately attached to the soil of this beautiful country as are the famous jacaranda trees of Pretoria and the mimosa trees of the Bushveld. Each time one of us touches the soil of this land, we feel a sense of personal renewal. The national mood changes as the seasons change. We are moved by a sense of joy and exhilaration when the grass turns green and the flowers bloom. That spiritual and physical oneness we all share with this common homeland explains the depth of the pain we all carried in our hearts as we saw our country tear itself apart in a terrible conflict, and as we saw it spurned.
This is too boring. How did Mandela's call to action?
Look at your annotations and the notes you made in your notebook. How do Mandela's calls to action work to develop another central idea of his speech?
He's not doing that. Yeah. Warning people. No. Maybe this one? Maybe. I don't know. Oh, so I guess it was that one. I guess that does make sense.
Which of these situations would make you feel spurned? Select all that apply.
Feeling it spurned. I don't know what spurned means. What does spurned mean? Reject or refuse something. Oh, basically what I do. Okay. Discovering you weren't invited to a party. Being ignored by friends. Missing an important appointment. This one. Yeah. Huh? Wait. The term spurned means to reject or refuse something or someone with disdain or contempt. It implies proud or scornful dismissal, often including the person or thing that is spurned is considered unworthy. She's spurned. It's like not worthy. Oh. Actually, I wouldn't feel spurned because I don't like parties. So, you're wrong. Which of these words would describe a chasm? A chasm? Huge, wide. That was random.
Writing about central ideas. Making and supporting a claim. You analyzed the development of several central ideas in the first half of Mandela's speech. Here's an example of the process to make and support a claim about one of them.
Claim, huh?
A central idea in Mandela's inaugural speech is his hope for South Africans to unite and create a new and just society.
Too bad, so sad.
He develops this central idea in the first few paragraphs by repeating words and ideas about humanity and rebirth. For example, he asks his audience to consider humanity's belief in justice and says that a society must be born of which all humanity will be proud.
Ooh, this one will be easy, I bet. Maybe.
Before you write your own paragraph about the development of a central idea, let's check your understanding of these terms. Match each term with the statement that best describes it. Drag each tile to the correct box.
Central idea. Claim. Wait. Evident. Oh my god, I'm so smart. Watch, I'm gonna get 100%. Yay! I'm gonna ace this so far. I'm so knowledgeable, especially when I have dreams about these words. Oh no! The instructions are too long for me to process. Too many instructions make shorter and easier to read, please. Woo. I just failed the test, so I don't have to read those, hopefully. Alright. Which label provides the best details to support? Which label provides the best details to support the central ideas from the message? Oh no, I'm bored. Bill knows that the wolf presents a threat to the sled dogs. Throwing up its head and guarding them steadily. When they halted, it halted, throwing up its head and regarding them steadily. I might just have to give up right here, right now, partner.
A few minutes later, Henry, who was now traveling behind the sled, emitted a low, warning whistle.
Bill turned and looked, then quietly stopped the dogs.
To the rear, from around the last bend and plainly into view, on the very trail they had just covered, trotted a furry, slinking form.
Oh my god, a furry!
It's no.
To the rear, from around the last bend and plainly into view, on the very trail they had just covered, trotted a furry, slinking form.
Its nose was to the trail, and it trotted with a peculiar, sliding, effortless gait.
When they had halted, it halted,
throwing up its head and regarding them steadily with nostrils that twitched as it caught and studied the scent of them. It's the she-wolf,
Bill in the
answered.
Closet, he answered.
The dogs had lain down in the snow, and he walked past them to join his partner in the sled. Together they watched the strange animal that had pursued them for days, and that had already accompanied the destruction of half their dog team.
Okay,
Bill turned and looked, then quietly stopped the dogs.
To the rear, from around the last bend and plainly into view, on the very trail they had just covered, trotted a furry, slinking form.
Its nose was to the trail, and it trotted with a peculiar, sliding, effortless gait. When they halted, it halted, throwing up its head and regarding them steadily with
I don't understand what that means. Probably discovered. It sounds like it's the leader of the pack. Well, this kind of sounds like that. Oh yeah. After a searching scrutiny, the animal tried to fly to faces. I mean, that kind of sounds fearless. I don't even know if what I'm answering is right now. That just sounds right, so I'll just go with it. Alright. Let's see. Double check. Central idea. Bill knows that the wolf presents a threat to the dogs. That would mean, say right now, sounds like something they'd say if there's trouble. Yeah, okay. Then, top one. That looks right.
What is the central idea of the passage? A. Could we choose our environment, and were desire in human undertakings synonymous with endowment, all men would, I suppose, be optimists. Certainly most of us regard happiness as the proper end of all earthly enterprise. The will to be happy animates alike the philosopher, the prince and the chimney sweep. No matter how dull, or how mean, or how wise a man is, he feels that happiness is his indisputable right. My optimism is no mild and unreasoning satisfaction. A poet once said, I must be happy because I did not see the bare, cold present, but lived in a beautiful dream. I do live in a beautiful dream, but that dream is the actual, the present, not cold, but warm, not bare, but furnished with 1,000 blessings. The very evil which the poet supposed would be a cruel disillusionment is necessary to the fullest knowledge of joy. Only by contact with evil could I have learned to feel by contrast the beauty of truth and love and goodness.
True. Suffering leads to greater experience of joy. Happiness comes from studying at school. Actually, happiness does not come from school. That's wrong. You're wrong. Happiness is a subject for philosophers. Optimism is the result of a shelter. Definitely, I'm gonna say A, but I guess I could double read it.
Could we choose our environment, and were desire in human undertakings synonymous with endowment, all men would, I suppose, be optimists. Certainly most of us regard happiness as the proper end of all Certainly most of us regard happiness as the proper end of all earthly enterprise. The will to be happy animates alike the philosopher, the prince and the chimney sweep. No matter how dull, or how mean, or how wise a man is, he feels that happiness is his indisputable right. My optimism is no mild and unreasoning satisfaction. A poet once said, I must be happy because I did not see the bare, cold present, but lived in a beautiful dream. I do live in a beautiful dream, but that dream is the actual, the present, not cold, but warm, not bare, but furnished with 1,000 blessings. The very evil which the poet supposed would be a cruel disillusionment is necessary to the fullest knowledge of joy. Only by contact with evil could I have learned to feel by contrast the beauty.
I actually can relate to that one. It kind of sounds like they're just saying suffering leads to greater experience of joy, because it kind of sounds like that.
Today, all of us do, by our presence here, and by our celebrations in other parts of our country and the world, confer glory and hope to newborn liberty. What is the meaning of confer in this context? A. Apply. B. Discuss. C. Question. D. Wish.
Let's see. Today all of us do, by our presence here and our celebration in other parts of the world, confer. It's probably apply.
B. Discuss.
Or discuss. Na 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 na.
Which sentence best expresses the central idea of the passage? Juno reaches Jupiter. Adapted from NASA. After an almost 5-year journey to the solar system's largest planet, NASA's Juno spacecraft successfully entered Jupiter's orbit during a 35-minute engine burn. Confirmation that the burn had completed was received on Earth at 8:53 p.m. PDT, Monday, July 4, 2016. Juno's principal goal is to understand the origin and evolution of Jupiter. With its suite of 9 science instruments, Juno will investigate the existence of a solid planetary core. It will also map Jupiter's intense magnetic field, measure the amount of water and ammonia in the deep atmosphere, and observe the planet's auroras. The mission also will let us take a giant step forward in our understanding of how giant planets form and the role these titans played in putting together the rest of the solar system. As our primary example of a giant planet, Jupiter also can provide critical knowledge for understanding the planetary systems being discovered around other stars.
That one makes sense. Juno will investigate these. It's with its suite of 9 science instruments. Juno's principal goal to understand. I don't know. I hope I got 5 of them right again.
What is the function of this sentence in the passage? In addition, Galileo observed that Earth appeared to circle the Sun instead of the other way around. A. It introduces a new central idea to focus on. B. It provides a concluding idea for the paragraph. C. It contrasts statements from earlier in the passage. D. It adds 5. Following the invention of the telescope, the universe didn't seem so far away. Galileo, an Italian scholar in the 1600s, took advantage of this new device by pointing it toward the sky. Through the telescope, the moons and planets looked clearer and closer. Galileo could see that the moon had a rough surface dotted with craters. He also found the Milky Way galaxy. In addition, Galileo observed that the Earth appeared to circle the Sun instead of the other way around. These discoveries reshaped how people thought about. He also found the Milky Way galaxy. In addition, Galileo observed that the Earth appeared to circle the Sun instead of the other way around. It adds a support.
Like that one. Oh no, I hope I'm right. Oh god, let's not fail this or I'll have to do it again. Oh my god, I got 5 correct! Yay! I win and you lose. Oh yeah. I like to see them all 5s. Oh my god, I'm an A+ student. Hooray! Oh my god, I'm smart as hell. Ha! And I didn't even have to do the whole tutorial. Just shows how smart I am. So smart. Look at me being so smart. And then I'm gonna do even more work. Cause, yay! Yeah, I remember that. I'm so smart. And thirsty. I'm also thirsty for water.
Which choice best explains a narrative technique the writer uses and its effect on the reader? Which choice best explains a narrative technique the writer uses and its effect on the reader? A. My dad used to say there aren't really foods he doesn't like. Which choice best explains a narrative technique the writer uses and its effect on the reader? A. The writer's extended reflection teaches the reader about human nature. B. The writer's character development slows the pace of the narrative. C. The writer's detailed description engages the reader in an ordinary topic. D. The writer's sequence of events causes confusion.
Oh, farmers markets.
My dad used to say there aren't really foods he doesn't like, just foods that he hasn't liked yet. I'm inclined to agree with him because there's a clear line of demarcation in my life, days of beet disdain and beet delight. Have you ever had a yellow beet? The writer, have you ever had a yellow beet? Me neither, until an unsuspecting visit to Atwood's Cafe on an otherwise ordinary day. The lunch crowd buzzed as I sat at a table for two near the door, surveying the menu until I landed on a list of appetizing ingredients. Bib lettuce, asparagus, goat cheese, pistachios, and yellow beets with a lemon dill vinaigrette. Dressing on the side and hold the beets. That was my first inclination. What can I get for you today? My server asked. I'd like your Bib lettuce salad with dressing on side and no beets, please, I ordered. Have you ever had yellow beets? My server inquired, peering over the rim of his glasses like my dad. Actually, no, I replied sheepishly. It's a texture thing, they seem so slimy. Ours are delicious. Give them a try and, if you don't like them, I'll bring you a beet-free salad. And he was off before I could object. Let me tell you. Yellow beets are beautiful. They're a vibrant, golden yellow that brightens a plate like sunshine. I'm no culinary expert, but when food looks good, it tastes better, right? These yellow beets sure did. They were smooth, not slimy, and mildly sweet, not so earthy, though they grew to fullness underground. This was my moment of conversion. My delight in yellow beets extended beyond the walls of Atwood's as I sought this delicious root vegetable on other menus, in recipes, and at farmers' markets. I have learned there really aren't foods I don't like, just foods that I haven't liked. The lunch crowd buzzed as I have learned there really. Maybe I'll give.
Come on. I hope I get all these right again. I love it when I don't know
Which sentence best develops the author's claim that it's important to preserve historically significant buildings? Architecture. The modern philosophy of out with the old, in with the new has been used and abused for years. Oftentimes, it has more to do with making a profit rather than a legitimate need for something new. Across the United States, beautiful, historic architecture is...
Okay, wait. Which one is best? A claim it's important to serve historically significant buildings.
Across the United States, beautiful, historic architecture is frequently destroyed to make way for malls, high-rise apartment buildings, grandiose homes, and other structures. Over the past several years, it has become increasingly common for big-name developers to tear down Victorian, Craftsman, and colonial buildings. Out with the old, in with the new has resulted in people no longer appreciating the history and artistic integrity of our country's oldest buildings and failing to realize that once the new is brought in, the old is lost to us forever. It is bad enough that developers and private citizens are blind to the beauty around them. What is worse is that local governments refuse to step in and prevent this destruction. Cities and towns need to stand up to large developers that flash money around in the name of progress. Rather than allowing developers to tear down old buildings simply to put up new ones, local governments could enact ordinances to preserve their area's architecture. If an old building is unusable or unsafe as it is, the structure could be restored instead of demolished. Not only rather than allowing developers to tear down old buildings simply to put up new ones, local governments could enact ordinances to preserve their area's architecture.
There's two pretty great answers here. That it claims it's important to do this. And allowing developers to tear down old buildings. Local governments can enact ordinances to preserve their area's architecture. I'm torn. Okay, it claims it's important to preserve historically significant buildings.
Out with the old, in with the new has resulted in people no longer appreciating the history and artistic integrity of our country's oldest buildings and failing to realize that once the new is brought in, the old is lost to us forever. It is city rather than allowing developers to tear down old buildings simply to put up new ones. Local governments could enact ordinances to preserve their area's architecture. If an old building is unusable or unsafe as it Which detail in the draft best shows the writer's use of reflection to develop the narrative? Which detail in the draft best shows the writer's use of reflection to develop the narrative? Excerpt from The Color of Freedom. An elderly man. Which detail in the draft best shows the writer's use of reflection to develop the narrative? Excerpt from The Color of Freedom. Which detail in the draft best shows the writer's use of reflection to develop the narrative? Excerpt. Which detail in the draft best shows the writer's use of reflection to which detail in the draft best shows the writer's use of reflection to develop the narrative? Excerpt from The Color of which detail in the draft best shows the writer's use of reflection to develop the narrative?
Oh my god. Okay.
Read the passage. The author develops Pasha's character by
Ooh, I don't want to read that right now. And where's the short ones? Oh, here we go. Wait. Alright, which sentence in the text foreshadows an internal conflict in the excerpt? Internal conflict.
I was a dreamer once, and still am I today.
That's not internal conflict?
The problem is that I grew, but my dream did not.
Maybe that's it.
I always wanted. For me, they never spoke a word. He caught me drawing once again in his class and that was it. In those days, Many adults believe that painters and the problem is that I grew, but my
and that is conflict, so I did that one. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Develop the overall claim. Oh, this is too much to do right now. Ooh.
Ruben is writing a memoir about purchasing his first car. Which sentence should he include in his draft to best show his reflection about the experience? A.
That show his reflection. And that's a reflection. Stopped at the car dealership and wondered. That's kind of a reflection, I think. I have learned there are things. Boom, boom, ba-da-da-da-da-da. It's a reflection because he learned. Learned is the key word. Because he's reflecting. Because that's how, if it's spelled like that, that's what it means. He's reflecting because he learned. Yep, I'm smart. But I kind of feel like it's not that either. Not that close to, no. Oh. Yeah, that's not showing his reflection. So yeah, this one is. Oh yeah, I'm smart, bro. Too much to read. I just don't care anymore. Oh, this is a pretest. Nice. Nice. Man, I am so good at this. Wonder if I can redo that one test. Can't you see? Whenever, wherever we're meant to be together, I'll be there and you'll be here.